We have an exciting show for you today. We're going to go through some of the awesome new updates we have for WWE 2K22's patch 1.09. There's a lot of fixes and cool updates in here, and we want to give you some of the top ones that you need to be made aware of and you can enjoy right now. Let's have some fun. Let's go. Hey everybody, welcome back to Assemble. I'm Matt. Great to have you here on the show. And quick little shout out, quick little note for the show before we get going. I want to say thank you to all of our brand new subscribers and welcome to the Assemble community. We have had, it's been kind of crazy how many of you have chosen to click that little subscribe button and check out the channel. It really does mean a lot and it helps us out and helps us grow here on the show. Let's get into patch 1.09. Gave you the patch notes the other day, the full rigmarole and the whole breakdown. Now I want to go through some of the awesome updates that are in there and what we might expect very, very soon in terms of additional content and updates. Let's get into it. One of the first things that was really awesome is going to be in MyGM mode. We have the addition of the tag titles. Ladies and gentlemen, you can now go in and you can add tag title match, both men and women's side. This confused me at first, but it's very easy to do. Head into MyGM mode. You're gonna need to start a brand new MyGM. At least in my experience, I tried to go into my existing ones and it didn't seem to work. Start up a brand new MyGM mode. Make sure you are on normal or hard difficulty for this to work. Once you've drafted your superstars, put together a regular tag team match. It could either be for men or women. It will then give you the option to toggle the title match on or off. And then obviously on the next week's show, if you go in and you're going to have a tag title match, you can see that your tag champions have the titles next to them. It will put them in as a tag team together and you're off and rolling. This is not only a huge, awesome update, because I seriously thought that 2K would just say, we're done with GM mode and we are going to do these these big updates for things like adding more titles in next year's game. I really didn't think that they would add anything new this year, but this was a huge demand from the audience, huge demand from fans, including myself, that tag matches were basically meaningless in this mode. Now we have tag titles. This helps it out a lot. This also gives me hope, and maybe it does for you too. Let me know in the comments that we could see the addition of mid-card titles. They didn't add the titles to be able to select at the very beginning. You can still only select your World Heavyweight Champion, your Women's Champion. You can't set up the tag champions right out of the gate. But this does give me hope that within a month, 2 months, 2K could just easily add in the US title, the Intercontinental title, and we're totally good. They increased the number of match cards as well, so we're seeing that being increased. This is really awesome all around the board. So if you're a fan of MyGM mode, great updates right there. One of the big ones that has been online that fans are really happy about, including myself, NXT 2.0 Arena is in the game. They did a great job with the render of this. I have been playing this arena a lot. I just like it. I like how bright it is. I like the color, it pops. It's just been fun to play in. So the NXT 2.0 arena is set up as a standard arena. You can totally select it. It's easy peasy, you're good to go. But once again, this gives me so much hope for what's to come for content, what could be coming for content from 2K over the course of the next year. We know about all of the DLC for the playable characters, but nobody anticipated they were going to give us a new arena, an NXT 2.0 arena, in a free update. So this gives fans hope, and maybe we're thinking too much of this, but this gives us some hope that they could add more arenas down the road, like this past year's WrestleMania. Maybe they're going to add that in down the road. Another cool update that's in the game, it's not working yet. They got to do a hot fix to get this to work, but they have added in an additional referee in the game. You can now select the SmackDown referee with the blue shirt. This was notable in the Rey Mysterio showcase, and now it is in the game. If you go into the options menu, when you're going to set up your match, you can select your referee and you can change it to the SmackDown blue. This isn't working though. I have tried in the SmackDown arenas. I have tried any which way I can do it. It's bugged. It doesn't work right now. So we're waiting for 2K to just bring out a hot fix to get this to work, and we'll be off and running. But it's a cool addition. Another cool addition that I noticed when I was playing in the NXT 2.0 arena, I set up a women's match and I had Bayley in the match. And when I did this, the fans started to chant, "Welcome home." This is just really cool little touches. 2K noted in the patch notes that they did a lot of commentary updates, crowd noises, all of this stuff. So I'm really happy that they're adding in these little details in here. This makes for a more engaging experience. It makes it more fun. Now, speaking of Bayley, speaking of the women, they did updates with the hair physics. It's not perfect by any means, but I will say, at least in my experience with the new patch, that the hair physics, specifically for the women, seems to be better. Playing as Sasha, Bayley, Becky Lynch, going through so many of the women, I noticed that the hair is sitting better on them, on their models. It's not glitching through nearly as much. It actually goes over their shoulders. So 2K did a good job of cleaning this up as well. So the hair physics update, I think, is a big win too. They also added in a ton of the hair models going into community creations. I know people online are going bananas for it because on the men and the women's side, they've added so many different hairstyles and mock-ups. Another big win here for your old buddy Matt, and I went to 2K support and filed one of those ticket things a while ago, and they did it. Not for me, but for a lot of us. They increased the speed of chair shots in the game. Tried this out a couple of times. This is notable for chair shots and the stop signs. It's quicker. It's not perfect. It's a hard thing for them to get the timing down, I guess, but it is a massive, massive improvement. Wielding weapons, wielding steel chairs, you can hit your opponents now, and it doesn't feel like I have to time it when my opponent is starting to get up and I'm hitting the button to initiate a chair shot. My opponent can be standing, I could be running and wield a chair. It's quicker and it's at a better pace. Speaking of being at a quicker pace, better pace overall, menus, going into community creations, loading times, all of that is cleaned up a little bit, and it's noticeable that it is a little bit quicker, a little bit more stable. And speaking of stables, I'm just into segue mode right now. Speaking of stables, go into the tag teams, go into the teams menu, head over to roster, head into the teams, and if you haven't already, hit the default option for the teams. Because if you do this, you will now see the Hurt Business is in there as a full functioning stable. Entrance, music, everything. Here's the downside to that though. You have to reset the teams. If you have created some factions, some teams in there, you're gonna lose it. So if you want the Hurt Business, you have to set everything to default. This is a downside. This is a bad thing. But if you're really itching to get the Hurt Business in there as a stable, hit default, update it, and you'll have them in there, but you're gonna lose all of your other tag teams that you may have created. I've tried to go into the creation suite and create the whole stable. You cannot, because you can only set up a trios. So if you want proper Hurt Business, you're gonna have to do it this way. Another creation piece that's got a huge update to it, renders, rendered images. Download those beautiful community creations from creators like What's the Status? You want to get yourself a great looking Hulk Hogan or Alexa Bliss or whoever? We figured this out before. Well, they have updated this and they have changed the sizing of the rendered images. So now for your downloads that you currently have, it's all going to look out of whack. Thankfully, so many people in the community right now have been uploading proper, redone, resized images and renders for you to be able to download. Head into community creations, find your favorite creators. Even on the main page, you're gonna see under images, you are going to see a ton of new updated images and rendered images for so many superstars. So don't worry about that. It does mean that you need to go in and delete the old renders and then put in the brand new ones for your downloaded superstars. I would also go into the deletion utility and delete the rendered images that the old ones that you have. This will take up space. It can still contribute to crashing, glitching out. So delete old images you're not using, do a big cleanup for yourself, and then you'll be having a good time because the new images line up a lot better. And again, shout out to the community, all the creators that do all of these rendered images because they're fantastic. Now, staying on the topic of community creations, shout out to What's the Status? Because he has gone through the files, done the digging online to be able to see there are more alternate attire additions found in the game. He's found alternate attire updates for what seems to be the WrestleMania pack. This is coming through My Factions, and if you go into My Factions, there is notes of a WrestleMania retro pack. And this would line up, and What's the Status has found these alternate attires for superstars like Hulk Hogan, Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, and Shinsuke Nakamura. There's likely more to come, but he will be working on these and getting these uploaded and being able to download them. Thankfully, because these superstars are in the game, we would be able to set these as just normal alternate attires. The only one that would be giving us a little bit of an issue is going to be like Roman Reigns. Roman has his brand new theme song in the game. We don't have the old one. You put in the Shield music if you want to, but you would have to set them as separate superstars. When doing this and using what's the status creations that are amazing, the issue is with the game is that when they come down the aisle, the announcer announces them as the superstar. So if you can, change it over, use it as an alternate attire. This is interesting though. This keeps popping up that as releases come out for My Factions mode, that we have seen also for My Rise stars, they show up in the game code and then we're able to unlock them online and download them from the creation suite. They're in there. I wonder if 2K is going to get ahead of things and try to release these alternate attires themselves for free. If they're becoming available in My Factions down the road, and if you're 2K, why not just release them anyways? Do an update where if you complete it in the My Factions mode that you will unlock the alternate attire for Roman Reigns or AJ Styles. And do it legit. That gets more people into My Factions mode. If you're trying to really push that thing, people will use virtual currency. They'll spend more time, more money in there because they want to be able to unlock the alternate attires. It's another thing for people to work towards. Instead of just getting the cards, they can work towards getting real alternate attires to use in the game. To me, that is a big, big incentive to play that mode. If I know that I'm going to get Roman Reigns or AJ Styles alternate attire and it's real and it's legit and it will give me maybe older music, entrance, Titantrons, all of that. So I hope 2K does this and takes it upon themselves to really flush this out and give us these updated alternate attires. But in the meantime, shout out to What's the Status because he has all of these in the works right now. So is patch 1.09 perfect? Absolutely not. There's still glitches, there are issues. So many of you have left in the comments that there are still issues when it comes to PC side of things, just glitches in general, stuff still crashing. But this patch is a big win for fans. It is a big win for players because they have gone above and beyond our expectations. Because from 2K, I gotta say in the past, you get a couple of maintenance packages and the DLC and that's it. They've done significant improvements and they are working towards updates and fixes for the game. We gotta keep in mind too, to give them a little bit of credit here, the game has not been out for very long, just over a month. This is a significant improvement and this shows us that they are wanting to listen, willing to listen and fix the game and not just send it out to die. So it gives me a lot of hope that the game will see more and more improvements, more additions as the year goes on. The bigger conversation is going to be around next year's game or when we would even see the next 2K game, because this is showing us that they don't need to rush out and launch 2K23 or the next one. If they're able and willing to add arenas, attires, and so on, this game can have a lot of legs and a lot of longevity. Let me know what you think of patch 1.09. And again, thank you so much for subscribing to the show if you're brand new here, and to all our community members, thank you so much for being here. And I will see you on the next episode.